And that is how I set up my stuff. Yeah. That's how I set up my work, guys. My endless files of nothing. So hey, welcome to my little stream before Christmas. I don't know what else to say, other than hi. Now, why am I streaming so late? It's like, Pep, what are you doing? It's nearly Christmas. Everybody's for the holidays. Like, is this a bad time for you to stream, especially something as low key as this? And my answer to that is, yeah, because we're chilling. But also, like, the real reason is because there's it's a redraw that I'm trying to do. Which is why I was measuring the dimensions of my previous free draws. I'll explain it later. But, for the past, like, couple of years, I've done, like, a redraw of a drawing. Just simply to see how, like, my art journey has gotten, all that stuff. And, the day is almost Christmas, and, I haven't gotten to working on it. So I figured, wouldn't it be the best time to start working on it now? So what I was doing was, like, I was looking at my previous drawings that I did over the years and be like, okay, what was the dimensions? Because I use the exact same dimensions. Because, honestly, it's been kind of like my default dimensions for my art recently. And I'm using Clip Studio Paint because it's amazing and I love it so much. And it's also just easier. It's also just easier for me to use Clip Studio, like, probably on stream. The reason why I was using Procreate and the other ones was because I was, like, I mean, I guess that was, like, my main drawing program for a hot minute, but, man, Clip Studio is so nice. It's just not as portable. Well, I mean, it is. There's just a subscription, which sucks. Anyway, I'm getting way too into it. Yeah, we're doing a redraw. So, I am just gonna plop in, I'm just gonna plop in my previous ones. So, I can, like, I guess, look at them as I'm doodling. Okay. Clip Studio is easy. I wouldn't say necessarily easy, but, well, I mean, I personally don't use any bells and whistles in Clip Studio. And don't worry, we'll like, start the actual stream. I personally don't use any of the, like, big, like, fancy bells and whistles 3D models. Probably because I haven't, like, used it, like, to its full potential, or anything like that. But, hold on a sec. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fine. So I'm just organizing, like, my stuff again. Alright. We can get to the scary infinite void. Start drawing. Okay, so I guess, I think this was my, no. It was this one. This was my first, like, edition of this drawing. This right here. When did I draw this? I honestly do not remember. I don't remember when I drew this. It was a while ago. But this was like when I was still trying to figure out how, I guess, digital painting works. And oh my god, you can tell. You can tell that I had like no idea what I was doing. And I wasn't. Because I do remember drawing this. And I had no idea what I was doing. And then the next year I had a bit of a better idea. So, a much better idea. Like, you can literally see the difference. I also just started to draw people a little differently as well. Hair started to change a little bit. And then this one I didn't Procreate. This one I wanted it to have like a completely different look and feel. Like, just completely different. I guess to like flex, question mark? I don't know. But, this was around the time I started to draw fingernails, which I mean, now I draw them. So, okay. But let's get my simple brush. Okay. Bro's hair be shinin'. Yes, tis. What is it? Peppermint, what is your favorite time of Christmas? Christmas? Duh. But honestly, like, probably like, okay. So for context, I'm Hispanic, so we actually celebrate Christmas on the 24th, not on the 25th. I mean, technically in the 25th, if you want to count, like, the early morning, and I mean morning, I mean, like, 3 a.m., but, so I guess it would probably be, like, around the time before we start opening presents, so, like near midnight. Princess of Snow Frost. Yep, he playing his lute out in the snow, and, Bro's hair be shinin'. It is very shiny hair. Okay. So, I think the first thing that I'm going to do, actually, is, draw out, maybe a bit more, less gray. I want to, make a couple thumbnails first. First, I'm just gonna trace the canvas. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna trace the canvas. Okay. Maybe put it like here, just so I could draw some like a quick thumbnail. See what I think. All right. Okay. So I had a couple of ideas of what to do. Actually, let me put these in a folder. No. You guys go in here. Okay. I had a couple of ideas. I think one of my ideas that I had would be, oh yeah, maybe I should state the name of the guy that I'm drawing. So this is Alan Adale. Let me just write it for y'all. Alan Adale. He's a character from a comic. It's just a drawing. Alan Adale is a character from the Robin Hood Legends. So in other words, my thing. And he's basically like a musician boy. Specifically, he's called a minstrel, which is different than a bard. And yeah, cute little minstrel boy. And yes, it is a boy. And if you're wondering, well, I don't know if you guys are wondering, but like, how do I put this? His femininity is canon. Like, I don't know. I don't know how other way to put that. Okay, so one idea that I had was probably like Alan, like playing his lute, right? Near like a fire. That was one of the like ideas I was thinking. And I don't know, he's like peaceful. Or maybe his eyes are closed, but I do want him to have some of his eyes are open. I do want some eyes open. That was like idea number 1. I would also think it'd be pretty cool if I had him like sing a lot more, I don't know, energetic. Maybe like I don't know, a lot more energetic. I was also thinking something a lot more fun. He is just a one-off. Wait, is he just a one-off side character, or does he appear more often? So, at least in my version of the story, he does join the Merry Men, but he isn't doing any of the like stealing and stuff. He's just kind of there to vibe. He's just kind of there to vibe. Cause Robin and the gang is pretty cool. And he becomes friends with them, but he's also like a little bit of a wet blanket. Actually, no, he's a very big wet blanket, so he's not doing any of the like cool stuff. But I was thinking maybe something like, I don't know, something more energetic like that. Ooh, actually, maybe this time I could show like some Merry Men like here as he sings. I don't know. But, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, it's this way. Maybe like, yay! But I think that's a little too flat compositionally. I don't know, it feels very flat. I'm thinking. I'm on like the little brainstorming phase right now. Now, I'm trying to think of ideas. Because I think it would be really fun to, like, introduce, like, the other Merry Men as well. That would be super fun. Or maybe it's like, oh, okay. Maybe, like, the ground could end here. Right. Here could be, like, the beginning of Major Oak. Some grass. Some grass. Some bushes, I don't know, or snow actually. Snow makes more sense. Some snow, I don't know. Just pretend that's snow. And he's hyping the Merry Men. Yeah. Like he's kind of like just I don't know. He's the musician. What else can I say? He's the one who's having like fun, playing their silly little songs. And then like he. Would he be, like, here? And... would he be, like, here? And, everyone else is watching? Or dancing? Maybe, like... maybe... like, yay! But then he's kind of getting, like... unless... I just darken him a little bit. Like value-wise, I mean. That, like, he has a stronger value. Everybody else is a little bit lighter. So you can tell that's him. Probably like wearing a hat. Maybe that could work. I don't know, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's fine, right? I just noticed the Minecraft music. I wanted to play something a bit more, like, energetic, but I literally couldn't think of anything, and I went, Minecraft. And so here we are. Okay. I like the concept of this idea. I like where I'm... the idea of this concept. I'm just not sure. I think I need to, like, move him a little bit. You know what? When in doubt. The rule of thirds exists for a reason. Okay. I guess here's the big question. Do I want Alan here in the middle? Or do I want him in the side? Or here? Or just straight up in the middle? because I still want him to be the centerpiece of the, well, piece, obviously. I know, because like, I have a specific, okay, because I have a specific feeling I want to give off. That's what I was thinking, bro. I have a specific feeling that I want to give off, but I'm struggling to, like, find it. And, because I want it to feel very, like, celebratory, you know? Like they're having so much fun, you know what I mean? Like it's so energetic. Like, it's this, like, great moment is that they're having out in the cold, you know? So, ugh. Or, I mean, I could, whoa, what happened to the, oh, that's a pen, that's why. I mean, I could, like, and then it's like on whatever chord it's at. Now, see, I think that's cute. That's adorable. I don't know if I want him to take up the entire screen. Or maybe just, like, here. And then, whoa, got the pen again. Maybe I could move it a bit more this way. I mean, that's nice, I guess, but, Merry Christmas just joined. Welcome to the stream, we doodling. Trying to figure out a composition here. Okay. I'm thinking. So, what if I flip him? Oh, wait. There we go. If I flip him here. Ooh, okay. How about instead, he's, like, looking just a little like, a little more towards the camera. He's not, Or, okay. This... Or maybe he is looking more towards the camera. Man. Okay. Let's keep it here for now. Okay. Okay. And... just lower this opacity so that you guys can see it. Yeah. What if? Let's make it smaller. I feel like it's a little too big. And then, like he's kind of like, I don't know, maybe he's, like you see him kind of like jumping up with joy, I guess. So like, the energy, I guess, is being portrayed. I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. And so his like chest is like puffed out a little bit. He's having a bit of a moment. What's this? Hello everyone, how are you? I am doing pretty good. Just doodling before Christmas. Okay, I need more. Right, and then from here, I mean, let's say like his ears were like here. Right. The ears were like here. And then there's where like I could like draw his stupid little hair thingies. Pretty alright. So like just really showing the amount of energy that's being like it just had like a massive like jump and the hair is like just starting to fall back down. Which, I mean, I guess I've done that with the others, but maybe not to like this same degree. Okay. I'm kind of liking how this looks so far. And just like a little smaller. And then yeah, the loot would be here. Stop getting the pen. Oh my goodness. I should move this over here. Okay. The loot is definitely, definitely like up close because he's like holding on to it while standing up. Which I don't think is something I ever like really portrayed all that well. Oh, I actually kind of like that, yeah. It's like kind of dramatic as to how much it's like angled. Wait, did I just draw it all wrong? Oh, I totally did. That's... Yeah, no, the neck board is this way. But I actually like the idea that it's a lot more like I don't know, more steep. Yeah, like that. A lot more steep to maybe just a little bit more this way. To really show, I guess, just how close, I guess, he's holding it to himself. Yeah. And then, of course, like, his hand is gonna be here. No, it's not gonna be out. It's gonna be, like, maybe his arms are, like, really in. Just to really emphasize just how close they are to his body. Drop the... Oh, that's right. Drop this a little bit. Okay. And this one, of course, is also going to be a bit closer to him. I want everything to be a little close to his body. And, ooh, his arm definitely going to be in an upward motion. And his hand is all, like, out. Like it's... Like it's just about ready to, like, do a massive strum. Okay. And finally, the, like, cloak thing that he's wearing. I think I'm just gonna, like... Okay. So if I like zoom in close enough, and just like imagine how it is as like a full composition. If I move him a little closer, definitely size him down a little bit. Like here, I guess. Size him down a wee bit. I definitely have to move the face, but I'm too lazy to do that. This is just like a quick, like a super quick. Shoo, 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 shoo. Okay. Probably gonna move like the smile up here. Move it up here like that. Cheeks very. Part of me wants him to wear gloves, but I also know that's like, it's just not gonna make any sense. And also impossible to play an instrument that way. Yeah. What is this? Not gonna lie, Lorax got me into this live. Well, I'm glad that happened. Let me tell you, it's kind of crazy that, like, back in the day, people knew me for the My Hero Academia. Yeah, I remember that show. Remember that? Ooh, long time ago. And I just love it that, like, nowadays people are like, oh, I came from the Lorax. And I'm like, that's beautiful. That's incredible. I love that. That's amazing. I'll get working on those Lorax animatics soon. Eventually. I'm just trying to sort out my life right now. But trying to like come to a sense of schedule in a time where it kind of feels like I got none. But, and I'm also just not that good at, like, time management. But, okay. Okay, I don't think this is too bad. Or, because it'd be, yeah, because the waistline would be, like, up here. Okay. So because everything is so high, the horizon line would probably be, like, down here, I guess. And so Major Oak, which is the giant oak tree, would probably have its, like, presence. Maybe it's already, like, growing. Or maybe he's still out in... Okay, maybe he's not in camp. Maybe he's, like, out in the center of a clearing. There's, like, a hill over here. And then in that hill is where there's, like, a couple of trees. Maybe I'll drop all this down a little more. To, like, really emphasize, whoops. Obviously, like, this. And, I mean, yeah, I don't know, it's a bright, sunny day. It was always meant to be a bright, sunny day. Okay. I think I have something. I think we're gonna go with this for now. Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Sorry, dudes. Sorry, dudes. Maybe another year. Maybe another year. I don't know. I only have, like, one day to finish this anyway, so, like, maybe it was for the best. I don't know. It was on me for not drawing it earlier, but whatever. It's fine. Okay. I think, although this probably was, although this would have been really cute. This would have been really cute as well. But we're not going with that one. We are not going with that one. Get those out of here. We're keeping this. Yeah, just to keep everything consistent. Okay. Now I'm just gonna... Come on. I'm gonna drop it a little bit, just so. Okay. Okay. So from here... Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I guess from here I just start actually drawing. I don't know. Actually doing the drawing. Okay, so I think from here I'm just gonna draw the face from here. Definitely a bit of like a... Now, of course, with Alanadale, I know this is it's a thing that I'm trying to, like, get better at with my art, and that's, like, I guess, like, changing up the face shapes or something. But with Alanadale specifically... Whoa, did the music shut off? Or good? With Alanadale specifically, I want to keep his features, like, all soft and cute. Because that is a thing that's described about Alanadale. It's how he, and I quote, has the face of a maiden. So, definitely a very, like, softer, like, feminine looking face. Definitely. So what's his backstory? How did he join Robin? So this is very interesting, honestly, with the... I say this in comparison to the King Arthur legend, but most of the Robin Hood characters... I'm talking in the legend, okay? Like, I'm talking, like, in ballads, like, forget Ma stuff. Most of these characters don't really have backstories, which I always thought was interesting, considering that, like, the Knights of the Round Table in their mythos are jam-packed with lore. And, okay, this is getting loud? I don't know if it's getting loud. The King Arthur Knights, they're like jam-packed with mythos. It's actually, like, I've gone back to, like, rereading stuff about the Knights, because I have, like, an entire document about, like, what I want to do with the King Arthur stuff. I always revisit it every once in a while. And I was honestly surprised by, like, even, like, now, after years of working on this, like, even now, I'm still surprised at the amount of lore, like, almost every single character has. With Robin Hood, they got, like, basically got none. But, I honestly think that's kind of the point of Robin Hood. This connects, I promise. Where one of the big differences between Robin Hood and King Arthur is the fact that King Arthur is about, well, a king. It's about kings and knights and kingdoms and wars. It's about all of these, like, big, larger world things. Robin Hood is about a bunch of bandits in the woods who live in a city. And pretty much the majority of the Robin Hood mythos stays in that one city, Nottingham. And if it ever ventures out into other towns, it's usually towns that are in the area, like Mansfield or Locksley or Sheffield, which are fairly close in the Nottingham, like in the Nottingham place. Because fundamentally, at its most basic core, if King Arthur is about the people who, I guess, the people who have effects in a country, I guess. I don't know. Robin Hood is about the common folk. That's, like, its main thing. I promise this connects. So, because Robin Hood has such a big focus on... Because they're not warriors. Robin Hood and the Merry Men, none of them are warriors. They're, like, average people who fight guards. Like, they don't even fight knights. They fight guards and foresters. You know, they're not fighting people from the Marines. So like even their enemies aren't like these big massive figures. I mean, there's the Sheriff of Nottingham, but he's the sheriff of goddamn Nottingham. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't the king or anything. So, because of that, when I did decide to give them backstories, I wanted to keep their backstories very normal. You know what I mean? Like, very average, very... This feels like a backstory I could give to an average Joe, in like a modern day story, because that's kind of what they are. Okay, so anyway, so my backstory that I have for Alan, I don't know if this is it's a spoilers, I don't know. Maybe not, I don't know. But my backstory for Alan Adale is I really wanted to like hone in on his musician slash soft boy-ness slash femininity, I guess. So whoa. I'll save that later. So one thing I thought about with him is he comes from a town. Ooh, I forgot what town he comes from. Like, he canonically comes from a town. I forgot where. Again, it's in the same, like, area. He comes from a town near Nottingham. And again, normal ass town, just normal village. And I always envisioned him coming from a single mother. No real reason. Actually, no, the reason was because I wanted to, like, kind of explain where his, I guess, like, well, girliness comes from. And I was thinking that it comes from the fact that he didn't really have a major male influence in his life. And by the way, when I say that, I'm not saying that as some, like, bad thing or anything like that. No, that's what makes him adorable, okay? That's what makes him adorable. But I was thinking that, like, you know, because he was mostly raised by his mother, he, I don't know, like, adopted a lot of traits from her, I guess. And I was thinking, like, very, very, very little traits, very, very little traits. Like, I was thinking, like, he crosses his legs when he, like, sits down at the table, and I don't know, he comments on how cute things are, or, I don't know, I was thinking, like, he kind of, like, squeals when he sees, like, a baby or something. Just little touches that are not very common for men to do, but is more, like, I guess, socially acceptable for women. But because that's, like, what he was raised in, and he wasn't ever told, hey, don't do that, that's what he did. And, yeah. And then, of course, I was thinking, like, you know, as a boy, he's, like, I don't know, he's, like, walking around town trying to play with the kids in the neighborhood, and he quickly realized that boys like to play rough, and boys like to rough and tumble, and they like to play fight with their, like, little swords and stuff like that. And I was thinking, you know, or they like to play sports, right? Like, I don't know, like, the boys, you know, they like to wrestle or, like, kick a ball or play fight or go on quote-unquote adventures and then, like, scrape themselves in the arm by accident, or, like, climbing trees. I don't know, like, boys things, right? Just silly, goofy boy things. And Alan Adale wasn't into that. He wasn't into that type of stuff. And obviously from a very young age, he's like, I'm not like the other boys. I don't like playing in the mud or being rough and scraping my arms. You know, I'd much rather just sit and twirl flowers. I'd much rather sit and twirl flowers. I gave him eyelashes, didn't I? I did. I remember I gave him eyelashes. I just don't remember how. Was it like that? I think it was like that. I had, like, a chart as to, like, the little differences in the eyes. It was something like that. I forgot exactly how it's supposed to look like. I forgot. What's this? Okay, Cora says, oh, just yesterday there was a discussion in class about how stories from, like, Greek mythologies are, like, all about people higher up, in a sort of nepotistic realm, and for people come close enough. classics. Okay, well, fairy tales are more about ordinary folks and are for the common people. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Typically when it comes to, like, these types of stories, I don't know. Honestly, it's very similar to, I guess, how we tell stories now. It's like sometimes we want to hear about, like, great heroes that have massive effects in the fate of the universe. But then after a while, we're like, what about stories that is just about us? Okay. But anyway, yeah, so, yeah, I was thinking, like, you know, he quickly realizes, oh, I don't really like typical boy things. And I was thinking he gets really insecure about that. Because, you know, he's like, why aren't I like the other boys type of thing. And I don't know, maybe like the other kids call him like lame or something, I don't know. And I think, and he would complain about that to his mom because, you know, he'd be very emotionally open. He'd complain about that to his mom and be like, Mom, why aren't I like the other boys? And then I was thinking his mom responds with, why do you want to be? I don't know. Why do you want to be? And I was thinking, like, I don't know, his mom was like, it is like you are like perfect just the way you are kind of thing. But I feel like, I don't know, I don't want it to sound like that because it sounds really cheesy, but like I think his mother sees his quote unquote, and I'm saying quote unquote because they're not really feminine, it's just like in society and stuff, and like his mom finds his little traits cute, you know, like, I don't know, I love how you hum melodies and pluck out flowers and cross your legs and, I don't know, fangirl and, like I find that endearing. And, I don't know, she's like, and I was thinking that his mom, like, I don't know, is probably like, and believe it or not, a lot of people find that endearing as well. You know? I don't know. I wanted his backstory to be really cute. At the beginning of an anime shonen, at the end rom-com, dang. But so true, though. But, I don't know. And then, as for, like, his profession, I was thinking, like, you know, eventually he gets a little older, and I think I need to lift these up a little more. When he gets a little older, I was honestly thinking, again, I don't want it to be, like, super dramatic. I want it to feel very, like, grounded. I don't know, he encounters some musicians, some traveling minstrels, and hears them play, and he, like, is enamored by their music, and he falls in love with them. And I was thinking, like, I don't know, like, baby Alanadale goes up to one of the musicians and is like, wow, that's so cool, how do you play? Like, how do you play like that? And the musician is like, oh, like, let me entertain this child. And is like, oh, this is how I play. These are called notes, these are called frets, blah, blah, blah. Really cute. And can't stay, but Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Enjoy the stream and holidays. Yeah. That's for everyone. That's for everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I said that so, like, flatly. But no, like, seriously. Dude, 2026, it feels crazy. It feels absolutely insane. Like, that's not even real. That is not even real. My channel in, like, a year's time is going to be 10 years old. Like, oh, that's wild. Absolutely wild. Gonna spread this out a bit more. Okay. But yeah. So, I don't know, the musician's like, let me entertain this boy for a little bit. Hey, these are, like, called notes and stuff. And I was thinking that, like, you know, to the musician, he's just kind of entertaining a kid for, like, a few minutes. But, Alanadale's like, look, his entire life just changed. He's like, this is the most amazing thing ever. I want to be like you. Or, maybe that was fine, actually. I don't know. This is the most amazing thing ever. I want to be like you, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, he's like, Mommy. I want to play instrument. I want to play something. And, like, I don't know, his mom either buys him, like, either, like, a flute or, I don't know, like, a basic, like, baby's first instruments. I don't know. Maybe a flute. I think a flute makes the most sense. Like the medieval equivalent of a recorder, I don't know. And I mean, yeah, and so he makes songs and stuff. So eventually Alan grows up. Yeah, I know, horrifying. He grows up and, you know, just like the heroes before him, he wanted to be a traveling minstrel as well. And I was also thinking like another part of it is just simply that he just wants to travel as well. Not that like his life was completely isolated, but like, see, back in the old times, people kind of just lived in the same town their entire lives. So, you know, so I was thinking like this is just him wanting to like, you know, like, oh, I completely forgot the town he's from. He's from a town and I can't remember for the life of me. It's close to a river named Dover. I'd remember that. There's a river named Dover in England, and it's like around that area, and it's in one of those towns where he's from, but I can't remember where, and I'm struggling with this ear. Oh my gosh. This is gonna drive me insane. Or not? Or not? Hold up. Okay, I think I'm just gonna keep it like this. I'm just gonna move the ear a little more. But I think I got something. Okay. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Okay. And then obviously his bright little eyes. That looked so terrible. Ugh. You know, just do that. That was not how I drew your eyes. I completely forgot how I drew those eyes. Absolutely forgot. Or was it with, like, the slightest bit of, like, wing? Was it with that? I don't remember. Actually, it might have been. I don't know. I don't know. No recuerdo. But I'm kind of liking this a little bit more, so we're going to keep it. Just gonna fix this because I'm not liking it. And then this. Yeah, I'll keep it like this for now, or if not, it's gonna drive me crazy. Okay. And now for his overly excitable smile. Like, he's singing his heart out, little chap. Nope, not liking it. Those are the worst. Is that good? Is that good? That ear is bothering me again. I know. I already quote unquote fixed the ear, but like, ooh. It's just bothering me. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna fix this part. Because I'm also not liking how it's looking. Pointy elf ears. Yes. But they're not elves. They're humans. They're people. They're just average people. Okay. Alright. Oh my god, that ear. Like, there's just something about the ear that I'm just, like, not liking. Maybe it's just not far enough from the face? Or... Okay, maybe now it's too far. A little closer? Perhaps? Okay. And then I move this. Is that it? Is that gonna so? I don't know. I don't want to think about it too hard. I really don't. I don't want this to like ruin. I don't want this ear to like absolutely ruin the peace somehow. It's supposed to be a chill stream. It's supposed to be nice and chill and like. Okay. I'm leaving it like that. I'm leaving it like that for now. That's the face. What's down here? I don't know. Okay. It's gonna be... Yeah, definitely moving it. Maybe like here. Okay. So that's where the face is going to be. And for the rest of the body, I mean, I already drew like the general, like... I guess sketch of it, but like, I'm gonna refine it. And honestly, I'm probably just gonna do the sketch for this stream. I don't know. It's taking a while. This is taking a bit. But definitely want it to go like that. And then his mid-center, I guess. And then the pelvis. It'd probably... Or maybe a bit higher, actually. Maybe. Just move this a little more. Okay. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's things that are so small that really shouldn't bug me. But they do. They bug me so much. Or maybe, okay. Let me redo this. I don't know, not liking it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Oh my goodness. It's just not. I don't know. It's not coming out like how I envisioned. I don't know. Whoa. Why is that up here? Sup. Sup. Okay. No. I don't know. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just, like, not doing it for me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Okay. Okay. Now I think the face is too big, so I'm gonna size it down. Oh, the face, I said. The face. Don't tell me. Oh, thank God. Actually, maybe I should lock this. Gonna downsize the face a bit. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what's tripping me up. I don't know. Okay. It's fine, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I still think the face is too big. See, because if there's one thing I've learned, is that, like, the bigger the face, the younger they look. And obviously he's meant to look like cute, you know what I mean? But I don't want him to look too young. I mean, he is young, obviously, but he's not, like, 15 young. Science Life asks, what are you drawing? I am doing a redraw of, some illustrations that I have made, for the past couple of years. Let me just show them really quickly. So this was the first one that I made. Ooh, I forgot how many years ago this was. Probably, like, 3-4 years ago. This is the first one. And this is the second one. So as you can see, are already a lot. There's a lot more going on. And then this is the third one. I went like a completely different direction. Same character and all, because that's the point. And now I'm working on this. So yeah. Oh my God, I was talking about his backstory. Oh, I forgot. I was talking about his backstory. Dang. Whoopsie. I was so frustrated drawing this kid. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave the body, I guess, like this. You know, maybe I should start naming these. Bod. Head. Okay. I'm gonna draw the arm in between. Wait, actually, no. I should draw the loot first. Probably the first thing I should. It's probably the first thing I should get to drawing. Okay. The loot. So, actually, this is a decent. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep it like this because this is a good showing of like the loot, I guess. Okay. So I already have like the general line that I want the loot to look like. I think... I think the first thing I'm going to do, since everything is a little bit higher, as opposed to this one where everything is a little bit lower. Just as a basic, like, what am I doing kind of thing. Okay. I think this is going to be the basic idea I'm going to go off of. And then... Ooh, that's dark. That's really dark. We're going to... Probably... And then this would go in the middle. There's a reason why I'm doing this. Printf says, I love your art style. Thank you, thank you. Science Life says, low-key, I want to make a show, but I can't come up with characters, a story, and I suck at drawing. Plus, I don't have people to help me. It's okay, I don't have people to help me either. I think a good starting off point is finding especially when it comes to writing, I think a very good thing to start with is find a skeleton of a story. Because that's something that I've been doing recently with, like, my own personal writing. Like, find, not necessarily a pre-existing story and copy it per se, but I guess take a story that you already like, or take, like, the type of story that you want to make, and then really strip it down to its bare essentials. Strip it down to its most skeleton way you can possibly have it, and then try to start writing based off of that skeleton. So for example, there's the ever classic, what's a skeleton of a story? I guess like a good example is the very, very classic hero's journey, which y'all should be learning in English class, where it's basically, what is it, like character starts off living a normal life, and then there's the call to action, so the character is like slightly pushed to the adventure, the character rejects the adventure, and then something happened that forces them or makes them go on the adventure. Then there's the adventure itself, then there's the darkest hour, so like the low point, before the eventual rise, and then at the very end, the return to the normal life. So like, the hero's journey is, I mean, it's pretty much, like, the most famous skeleton of all time. But I mean, like, something like that. And I'm not saying, like, oh, just take the hero's journey and make a story out of it. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. Like, it's a tried and true method. People have been using it since, like, the dawn of time. But something like that is what I mean. I guess it's, like, what is the basic structure of your story? You know? If you're like, oh, I want to write something akin to, like, Star Wars. Well, Star Wars is heavily based off the hero's journey, at least the initial 3. That's why English classes use it. You know, you're like, oh, I want to make something like Star Wars. Well, what is the basic skeleton of Star Wars? And try to base your writing off of that. So, that's my recommendation. Let's see, I have a question. What is your favorite book series? Book series. So I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Like, Pep is gonna be like exposing herself a little bit as somebody who like absolutely loves like writing and storytelling, but this is a big expose. I don't really read books. And I know it's, like, I don't know if that's shocking to y'all, but, like, I don't know, with how much I love writing, I feel like it's kind of weird that I don't really read many books. I'm more so into the, like, visual stuff, you know, like, TV and movies. I'm definitely more into that. But I'm trying to get into books. I'm trying to, because books are, like, such a cool medium onto their own. So I can't really say what I would consider my favorite book series. Ironic. Yeah, I know. It's very ironic. It's extremely ironic. I guess it's because, like, all of the stuff that I imagine for my stories has almost always been written with visuals in mind, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Okay, I'm just taking a look at the... Okay, loot feeling a bit thick there. it's feeling a little bit thick. So I think I'm gonna thin it out. Because I want everything to feel close. I'm gonna thin it out from here. Okay. And whoa. This still looks fairly centered. Okay. Let's see. I like Rick and Morty and Futurama, so basically sci-fi and cosmic adventures. Well, there we go. But yeah, I guess that's my piece of advice. Like, if your story, for example, is like a sci-fi, look at your favorite sci-fis. And break everything down to its most basic elements. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna move the loot a little bit up here. And I'm gonna move the loot a little bit this way. And as for when is it going to start billowing out? I guess, like... Nah. Or actually, maybe it would make a little bit more sense if it was a little bit lower. Again, not too low, but... I guess here is where it could start, like, having the body of the instrument, I guess. What sometimes works if you base your characters off your personality sometimes, I recommend that to a certain extent. To a certain extent, I recommend that, but I think there is a tiny bit of a danger that if you do that too much, you accidentally start just making the same character over and over. Which is kind of like, well, yeah, no duh, you're basing it off of yourself. You know, if it starts feeling like the same person, maybe it's because the inspiration's from the same person. But I guess I think what I mean is, like, for example, like, if a thing you're basing your character off of is, oh, I don't know, maybe something like, awkwardness, let's put it. Like, you're awkward around people. And you know awkwardness very well, so you start writing it with one of your characters. Now, with one of your characters, the awkwardness may work. But then with another character, you know, it may still work. With another, yeah. But I feel like once you get to enough characters that display awkwardness, even if it's in different forms, it's kind of like, okay, we get it. You know what I mean? So... I think, like, my recommendation is, oh yeah, like, if you want to base a character off yourself, go ahead and do it. But I feel like when it comes to other characters, I think instead of basing its personality off of yourself, I think a good way of putting it is, like, how do you think, like, I guess, like, think of someone else. You know, think of, like, someone you know who maybe fits the personality of another character very well. So to say, like, maybe you are very, like, introverted, and you're writing an introverted character. Okay, you can base that off yourself. But once you start writing an extroverted character, then you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe, like, say you have a friend who's really extroverted. So instead of being like, what am I going to put in my character, think, how would my friend react? You know? How would my friend react? And this is what I will do. With, obviously, a couple modifications to fit the story. That's my, suggestion. Well, I just meant the main characters. For other characters, it feels hard because they are side characters, basically. Yeah, I get that. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm the kind of person that, like, I'm the kind of person that really likes ensemble cast. I really like, when, characters, when there's, like, well, not, like, a whole army of characters, but with, like, a good little team of characters hanging out, having fun. But that's a me thing. Honestly, I think a very similar thing for main characters. I feel like, I mean, I guess if you want to make only one story, obviously, go right ahead, base that person off of yourself, go right ahead. But I think if you're making other stories as well, with other main characters, I think it's the same symptom of, like, maybe it, like, try to prevent having all of your main characters feel the same, I guess. I don't know. But obviously, like, what I'm saying is not, like, rule of law or anything. I want to make that clear. I want to make that clear to y'all. I feel like I always need to say this, whenever I get into, like, writing talk and stuff. I feel like I always need to say this, that, no one can really teach creativity. That's just something that you kind of need to figure out on your own. But This stupid loot is messing with me. But these are just suggestions that I have had, that I have, like, developed over time. Or at least, like, things that I keep in mind, at the very least. Okay. Yeah, using the same Sir personality won't work sometimes, but it depends how you write it. I agree. I do agree. It definitely depends on how you write a character, because, you know, archetypes are not eternal. Like, there isn't an infinite number of archetypes. Like, characters will always stay in the same type of, well, in the same playing field as a million types of other characters. And it really is on the details of them. I definitely agree with that. I guess what I just mean is that if one of your main characters is, like, I don't know, cowardly but learns bravery, awesome, cool. When your third and fourth main character starts having that same development, then it's like, okay. I'm not saying any of this is bad or anything. I mean, it's writing, it's fiction, it's fun, of course. I guess what I mean is just, like, I don't know, experimentation, I guess. To be a good, honestly, just creative at anything, you really need to, like, push yourself to do different things. Okay, now this is definitely gonna balloon just a little bit before it goes to where it's at. Okay. Okay. No, not looking too bad. Does the perspective make sense? I don't know, but it looks good, so that's what I'm gonna keep it, you know. Let's see. Uzi Squirrel says, "This is cool. I haven't seen your videos in a while, but I'm happy to see to your stuff." Ah, that's sweet. Thank you. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night. Alright then, science life. Hasta la vista. Okay. I think the loot is fine. I think, yeah. Okay, so for this section of the loot, I don't know how I drew this. Like, I'm trying to remember how I drew this. I don't remember. Okay. It's kind of going at an angle. It isn't straight down. So, I guess, like, maybe like that. Okay. I think we're gonna... Oh wait, no. It's... Okay. I messed with the perspective. That's still my... my arch enemy. Perspective will always be my arch enemy. It's the arch enemy of a lot of artists, really. Okay, maybe a little bit longer. And then... yeah, because that would be like that. Okay. That's... wait, no, actually, I think I messed it up again. Ugh. Oh, this is awful. I hate this. That's the one thing I don't like about this instrument. It's not even the instrument itself. It's this stupid little piece that, like, juts out. Dumb little piece. On the topic of character archetypes, you can also make a character's flaws worse. Honestly, I feel like that's something that more writers really need to, like, learn, I think. Like, if you want your character to, like, mess up, make them mess up. Just make them ruin their life. Okay, maybe not ruin their life. It depends on the type of story you want to tell. But I feel like if you want to make, like, a very dramatic story, and you want, like, a character to mess up at one point, make them, like, mess up. You know what I mean? You know, absolutely. I think this is definitely, okay, I don't know if it's, like, a symptom of fandom, or I guess, like, modern internet culture or something, but it almost feels like with a certain type of audience, you can't show a character ever be too bad, if that makes any sense. You can't really show them have really negative traits, you know, or else they're suddenly, like, awful and terrible and, oh, you're a bad person for liking them. When, at least to me, that just kind of shows that this character is human? I don't know. Even if they're not real. Yeah. For example, if a character already struggles with the urge to kill people, if you want that character's flaw to be worse, you can make them stop resisting that urge. Yeah. Or at the very least, like, if a character has the urge to kill someone, and they have never killed anybody before, I think that even if you don't want them to go the extra mile and actually kill somebody, I think it would do so much to give them, like, violent fantasies. You know what I mean? And so it'd be, like, clear to the audience that this isn't just a thing that the author wrote at one point to make them deeper. It's like, no, this is something that is, like, in their mind constantly. And they are, like, and they keep resisting that urge. Like, and I feel like that would do so much for, like, a character like that. Or even if you want to go the extra mile and actually kill someone, you know? But I feel like, especially, like, I feel like writers these days really should not be so afraid of, like, showing a negative trait. Yeah. And to be honest, like, okay, I'm gonna talk about, like, my King Arthur stuff for a moment. I'm sorry. It's almost like it's the thing that I've been working on for, like, ever. Yeah, it's almost as if it's the thing I've been working on since, like, forever. But for the longest time, I did not want to kill any of my knights. I loved my knights way too much. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, they were my babies, you know what I mean? I like developed them over time, and I still am. And I didn't want to hurt them, you know? And it wasn't until I'm gonna be so serious with you guys. It wasn't until Epic the Musical. I'm serious. It wasn't until Epic the Musical where I suddenly thought, you know, maybe killing them is good. maybe killing a knight off would actually do more for my story than diminish it, you know? And the reason why was because, spoilers for the Odyssey, and the reason why is because not only the death of Polites and Eurylochus, but the death of Odysseus's entire crew, like, I don't know, like it's so, I don't know if shocking is the right word for this, but it really emphasizes just how much Odysseus is suffering. You know what I mean? It's really emphasizing that, and it kind of shows, like, oh yeah, these little games that Zeus is playing, Zeus ain't playing. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a silly goofy game Zeus is playing. Like, this is for real, you know? This isn't, like, every step that the crew takes in the Odyssey, it wasn't just an obstacle in the story for them to overcome. They were because they're dead. And Odysseus is an actual legitimate danger, and they could be wiped out literally by a snap of the fingers if they do the wrong thing. And I feel like, and it also adds so much to Odysseus' character with, like, you know, he wants to be this hero. He wants to, well, not hero, but, like, he wants to be seen as the good guy, I guess. And he kind of has to accept that he lives in a world where that's just not gonna happen. Okay, I think I finally got something with this section of the loot. I think I've only got something here. It makes the death of that character or character's impact on the story way more meaningful if they stayed alive. Literally. Now, obviously, as I will mention time and time again, this heavily depends on the type of story that you want to make. You know, Epic the Musical / The Odyssey is, it's an epic. You know, it's this grand, expansive narrative. You know, it's epic. Whoa. You know, and so obviously killing off like half of the entire cast, I don't know, that sounds kind of crazy to me. And obviously, if you're doing something a little bit more chill, a little bit low-key, maybe that's not the best choice, obviously. But for my Arthur story, I do want it to be a bit more, I do want it to be serious. I don't necessarily want it to be this, like, grand, epic, like, whoa, look how cool this thing is, necessarily. But I do want it to be a bit grounded, you know, as in, like, these are, like, maybe, you know, like, you're not experiencing these problems, obviously, because you're reading it, hopefully. You're reading it from a webtoon, probably. But, like, to the characters, everything that's going on is real, you know? Like I said, like, the things they go through aren't just obstacles for the character arcs. For the characters, this is, like, real legit stuff. So basically what I'm saying is, because of Epic the Musical, I kind of realized, yeah, maybe killing off one of my knights will actually be in service to my story. And, yeah. Just because it has magic doesn't mean it can't be believable. True. Okay, hold on, I need to lock in for just, like, a little bit. This is too short. This is way too short. I need to, like, extend it a little bit more. Yeah, like I said, I think we're only doing the sketch for this stream. Okay. It'll have to do for now. Okay, the circle. Well, not the circle, but, like, the thing. Actually, let me do that on another layer just so I can finesse with it. Let me remove. It's, like, kind of lopsided. It'd be better if it was more. Just like that. And then ugh. Circles in perspective are the worst. They're the actual worst. I do not like them. Oh my god. It's more so like that, right? Okay, maybe like it's a little bit more. Something like that. I don't know. Let's fix this area here. And I guess this area over here. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make this circle bigger. But not, like, too big either. I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe the circle's too... Maybe I should thin it out a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now, or else I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy finessing with it, and I don't really feel like doing that this stream. And for the board. Wait, let me look at the... Okay. Okay. Let's go up here. Okay. Okay. Loot is almost done, guys. Loot is almost done. I want to die. Oh man, the loot has always been like the worst part for me. Not because it's particularly hard to draw. It's mostly just because like it has structure, you know, and so it has like perspective, and perspective is my worst enemy. I'm gonna be finessing with that circle a lot. I can already feel it. I can already feel myself like, okay. But okay, for now, I think I'm gonna leave the loot as it is. Like I said, I don't even think we're finishing the sketch at this stream. I take like most of my drawing time really is in the sketch, if y'all haven't noticed. But Minecraft music, yes, it is. It's indeed Minecraft music. Okay. Put the body on top. Alright, so next part is going to be the arms, but yeah, I'm just gonna put that down. That's gonna be the loot. Okay. And then on top of that, I'm gonna put the arms. Arms. Okay. Gonna bring this back up. Maybe I should lower the opacity on this just a little bit more. Okay. Object perspectives, literally. And I'm also just too lazy to use an actual perspective tool, but like, okay. I was talking about, oh yeah, killing off my knights. That's what I was talking about. I forgot. Yeah. Oh my god, I completely missed this. Uzi Squirrel asked, do you plan on doing a mini stream on Christmas Day? I do not plan on streaming on Christmas Day. I'm not planning that. However, this is it's probably like the second time I said it on stream. However, I am releasing my animated short film on Christmas Day. That is one thing I am extremely excited for, especially for you guys to see. It was my senior capstone thesis, whatever you want to call it. The culmination of everything I learned in art school. And yeah, I'm just really excited to finally show it to you people. Even now, where, like, I look at the animation, I look at, like, even the drawings of the shots, and I definitely see my improvement, you know? I've definitely improved, at least a little bit in the animation sense, and I've definitely improved in the drawing sense. But even with the improvements that I have made in, like, the past year, like, I still look at that film and go, wow, like, I made that. Like, that's incredible. Like, it's insane. So, super excited for that. Hell yeah, I'm so excited, and I hope you guys like it too. Ooh, an animation? Yes, like a full animated short film. It's not super long, it's only like 4-ish minutes, but it took me like almost a year. No, it took me like over a year for those 4 minutes. It was hell, but I do not regret a second of it. So, cannot wait for that. And I need to lock in and draw this. Okay. So, I definitely want the arms to be, like, up. Cause, more like the shoulders, I mean to be up. Cause he's, like, technically, like, holding. He's kind of, like, holding up the, I was gonna say guitar, the lute. So, yeah, doing that. Self-development is so good. Proud of you. Thank you. Okay. And definitely, like, that part of the hand is way too small. Definitely here for the... Here for the hand here. And this is where, like, the fingers are gonna be. Those 4 minutes are about to be 4 hours long, I swear. Super excited for that. Don't expect anything crazy though, because I was also taking my other classes, and I would rather have not died. So it's nothing absolutely major, but I still think it's like, oh my god, this is like the best thing I've ever made. even if now I'm like, nah, I could do this better, I could do that better, that shot looks a little weird. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop like hyping it too much. Okay. Yeah, I was doing this. Yeah, Alan is definitely gonna be on the skinnier side of, or at least I'll try to make him on the skinnier side of, like, characters, of the characters. Because he's, like, yeah, his shoulder would probably only be, like, up to here. Okay, I think I made the arms just a little bit too. A little bit too. Okay, actually, no, let me redraw that again. I'm not liking it. Well, actually, okay, I like how I drew the shoulder part at the top. It's the bottom part that I'm not into. Because it'd be, like, more in. It's definitely more in. Because, like, this little section, I like this. I'm keeping this. I have a question for everyone. What fiction is the most interesting explanation for celestial bodies? What? I don't know. But I'm trying to get, like, my brain back on the topic I was earlier. Something. Oh yeah, killing off my knights and how epic the musical, like, literally is the reason why I was like, you know what? Maybe I should kill one of my knights. After I, like, had this epiphany of, like, actually, yeah, I think this would serve the story a little bit. And, I mean, yeah, and then after that, really what it was just, after I made the decision to, to off one of my knights, I said to myself, okay, which one? That was the biggest question for me. Which character am I going to nuke? Which character is going to be gone? And shockingly, I mean, or maybe not shockingly, but okay, maybe a little bit, it wasn't that hard to decide. It didn't take that long for me to finally find, like, the perfect candidate. And yeah. What if there was a major character death? Yes, exactly. Who is going to be hit with the head with the death ray? That, unless I let it slip by accident in the next however long it's going to take me to eventually get to that, I want to keep that a secret, actually. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep that a secret. Yeah. I was just about to let something slip because I was like, oh, maybe that's not that big of a spoiler, but I'm like, no, leave it. I'm not going to say which character, and I don't think I've mentioned that in depth, like all of my knights and what their deals are, so, like, I doubt many of you guys even have much of a thought in your minds. But it was definitely fairly easy to pick on who was going to be hit with the death ray. And then I thought, wait a second. I don't know, I still want people to feel. Because, like, the character death is not going to be impactful if, you know, the audience doesn't feel anything for that character. And the music cue, oh my goodness. The song always comes up at, like, the worst times. No spoilers? No. Because, like, the thing is that I've always had, like, the basic character for my knights. I've always had, like, their basic character things. But I haven't really fleshed them out, like, fully until relatively recently. And even then, like, it's an on and off thing that I'm working on. Like, the King Arthur thing isn't my main thing that I'm working on. By technicality, that would be the Robin Hood thing, but I also have, like, other things going on. It's a whole mess. But with the King Arthur thing, it isn't until relatively recently where I've really started to, like, delve deeply into the lore and backstories of these knights and who they are and as people and how the world around them affects them. You know, all that good character stuff. And when I made the decision to kill one of them off, he wasn't fully developed yet. And even, actually no, he's pretty fleshed by this point. But he wasn't fully developed yet at that time. And so I was like, no, I want the reader / watcher to really feel for this character when they eventually die in this song. My god. So I was like, okay, what do I have? What can I do? And how am I going to make this, how am I going to make people have an emotional reaction, I guess. And that ended up with me kind of by accident making him into one of my favorite knights. And I didn't want to kill him. And I know I said earlier I didn't want to kill any of my knights early on. But now, like, I really didn't want to kill him. Because I was like, no, like, I really like you. And I want you to be in the story more. And this might sound a little bit sadistic, but it was when I started feeling that where, I mean, I don't know if I am. But at least in my mind, I felt like I was doing something right. Now, obviously, this is the author talking. You know, obviously, what the author thinks is right and what the audience thinks is right is going to be different because, for example, you people do not have the full context or emotional attachment that, for instance, I do, of course. But I feel like I'm going on the right direction. I don't know. Obsidian Aurora says, that just means I need to brush up on my Arthurian canon to get a slight picture on what knight you plan to send to the other side. I feel like that's, it's not that many, but there are a couple that are candidates, and if you read up on them, you'll probably know which are the candidates. Let's see. You can always have that character haunt the narrative, not bringing them back as a ghost, but just have their death be felt long after they die in the story. Yeah, that's definitely something I need to, like, work on. Okay. I really need to, like, finish up on these arms. So I'm trying to think of how, I think, like, here would be, like, yeah. Then up here. Okay, I think I got something there. I think I definitely got something there. Whip that up very quickly. It's gonna be where, like, the thing is at. It's where the other arm is, and I mean, obviously this will. Do I want it to be over or under the guitar? I mean, I guess it makes sense under because he's trying to, like, hold it. The guitar. I'm sorry, the lute. I guess it would be under because he's, like, kind of trying to hold it up. That makes the most sense. Yeah. Okay. And then, like, here would be... And then, maybe, like, here would be... Now, let me do that again. So, like, this. And I think it'd be kind of neat if, like, the other fingers kind of followed, like, a certain path. And this one is just, like, a little more separate than the others. But the knuckles are still definitely there. Okay. And then the thumb. Okay. And now I think the hand is too big. Oh boy, I love drawing. I love drawing so much. It totally doesn't make me feel like, what the heck? It totally doesn't make me feel like I'm going insane every second. Okay. Maybe like a little bit bigger and like more towards here. Okay, maybe I'm a little smaller actually. Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. But I would have to fix this part here. Okay. Alright. I think I'm gonna leave that there. Now, as for this hand, okay. I think, blasphemy for this stream, but I think I'm going to leave the fingers be, because I would like him to be playing a specific chord. I would like that. However, to do that, I kind of need to look it up, and I don't really feel like doing that this stream. That's gonna be for later. So we're going to leave the fingers, blank, fingerless. Okay. Okay, I think we have something. As for the body, honestly, I think we can just... Okay. And then with this, a little bit more. Just to, I guess, like, I don't know. God. Every time I feel like I'm actually doing something right. Oh man, I hate this. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, I got something. I'm like, no, I don't have it. I don't know what I'm doing. Ugh. See, kids. Yeah, I'm calling it kids. If you ever see an artist that you really like, and you're like, wow, they're so confident in their work. No, they're not. They think it's terrible. They just hope and pray that it turns out decent. Like, what you think is a masterpiece, like, I guarantee you guys, what you think is a masterpiece to the artist, they think it's, at best, just okay. Okay. I think for this last stretch, I'm just gonna finish up Alan Adale's backstory, because I never properly finished it. And, yeah, and then probably end the stream. Okay. But as for this side of things, I think I'm just gonna draw his hair, and also his, probably clothes, if I can. They're a little bit more easier for me. Mostly because I don't fill them with too much detail, but still want it to look nice, of course. There has never been an artist alive that was confident in their art. So true. So true. And I want you guys to really like, remember that. Okay. Just gonna put these in a folder so I'm not absolutely lost. This is why I love Clip Studio Paint. It's a godsend. It's an actual godsend. I'm gonna call this Sketchbod so that I know what's what. Okay, and then for this, maybe like a blue tint to it. Okay. Unless they have a huge ego. Exactly. I completely agree. So, back to Alan Adale's backstory. The thing I was talking about a little earlier. So where did we leave off? Oh yeah, he grew up, became a musician, started traveling around England. Now I was thinking, you know, because he is mostly walking on foot, he is mostly traveling the Midlands. Which, okay, I'm just gonna do like a really rough England sketch. Okay, so like pretend this is England. Okay, just pretend this is England. The Midlands, as the title may suggest, is basically around the middle. Like, no duh. Like, it's called the Midlands. And Nottingham, as it happens, is, I'm not gonna say it's exactly in the middle, but if you look it up on the map, Nottingham is like basically in the middle. It's like basically in the middle of England. And more or less the entirety of the Robin Hood narrative takes place around the Midlands, but well, let's be honest, it's less of the Midlands and more of just the land around Nottingham. The land around Nottingham. Little fun fact, as opposed to the King Arthur narrative that basically takes up the bottom, and also like a little bit of Wales, but we're not talking about King Arthur right now. Yeah, this, more or less, this area. So I was thinking that Alan Adale, I'm not gonna, like, pretend that he has, like, a car or something and say that he traveled all around England. Oh, and also, like, Ireland, too, and maybe the Isle of Man, and, oh, maybe he traveled a friend. Like, no. No, we're being realistic here. He's traveling the Midlands. So, I was thinking, you know, he spends, like, a good while traveling the Midlands, singing his little baby song out, and people being like, "Wow, such an amazing musician! Whoa, so cool, awesome, sweet." And then one day, I was thinking he goes to a town very close to his hometown, and he plays for a Franklin. Now, a Franklin back in the old times was effectively middle class. But more specifically, it was a commoner who owned land. Him traveling across England is possible, but anything beyond that is not. I'm going to say no, because I was thinking that, like, he's mostly just walking on foot for these types of travels. And he's not exactly, like, the most athletic type either. So, mostly around the Midlands. Also, once you hit, like, a major city, like, just, you can spend all your time there. So, a Franklin is more or less, it's basically a commoner who owns land, and because of that, they're typically conflated with the middle class, or like how we think of the middle class these days. So he's playing for a Franklin, and the Franklin has a daughter, and Alan Adale falls in love with the daughter. Yes, I know, he's straight, but anyway. So, sorry. Bro doesn't even have a horse. I was thinking the entire thing is on foot. The entire thing's on foot. He is surviving through the little coins people drop on the side of the street. I kind of want a bit more of like a swoosh. Oh wait, no, he's supposed to be like, whoops. Yeah, there's a little bit of like a... Horses were expensive in those days. I mean, it's a horse. Like, have you ever seen a horse, guys? Like, those things look expensive. I said things as if it's like some sort of like machine. Horses are expensive. Not to mention like the cost of taking care of them too. But anyway, he falls in love with the Franklin's daughter, and they kind of form like they kind of have like a little bit of a romance going on. You know, he's serenading her with her little songs. Oh, how adorable! Oh, how cute! Like, I like to imagine, like, I don't know, him like playing his little songs in the barn or something. I don't know, something like adorable like that. However, the Franklin himself, he is very much not approving of this, because Alan-a-Dale is, well, poor, yeah, but like more, well, actually no, that's it, he's poor. Alan-a-Dale is not exactly a man with money. He's not exactly a dude with cash. And I'm actually not liking how this hair is looking. He's not exactly a guy with cash. And so the father does not want his daughter to be with this poor bloke. And so he basically, I was thinking he basically tries to like break them apart. But Alan-a-Dale, you know, he's like the soft, sensitive boy. He's like, no, I love her, blah, 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 blah. Reminds me of a certain bard. If only I knew what that was. No, you can't be, no, like, I love her, blah, blah, blah. You cannot break us apart. But oh, I don't know if I blew the mic there. But he's a working man. He is working, and he doesn't have a house. He is sleeping in inns and in stables. He's, like, renting a room from the neighbor. Like, I was thinking, Alan-a-Dale's not rich. I was thinking, like, he earns enough to live, but he doesn't really have much to his name. But yes, that's right, he is a working man. So anyway. So eventually, it's, time runs out for Alan. He has to go off to the next town. Mostly because he's like, hey, yo, it's like the season where, like, a bunch of visitors are going to, like, X city, and I need to go there. So, maybe I could, like, buy some new shoes with that. I don't know. So he has to say goodbye to his lover. However, he's like, hey, but, like, to make sure we, like, find each other, to, like, prove our love, here's what we're going to do. I kid you not, this is in the story. We're gonna get a coin. If I remember correctly, it was a penny, but it doesn't really matter. It's a coin. And somehow, I don't even know how they do this. They split the coin in half, and then turned that, and then, like, made a necklace out of that half of the coin. And then they wear it, right? So like, each of them, so, like, both of them is wearing a necklace with one half of the coin. And that is supposed to, like, show their love. And so Alan-a-Dale goes off. He goes off to other places. But more importantly, he goes to Nottingham. Okay, so this is the part of the story where it actually starts getting involved with the, like, Robin Hood stuff. This is, like, no longer backstory. This is, like, legit Robin Hood stuff. So I'm gonna try to keep it, like, a little bit brief. I guess just only with their meeting, I guess. I don't know. But essentially, Alan's chillin' in Nottingham. However, he ends up finding out a horrific secret. And it's the... Wait. Okay, I'm still good. Sorry, I thought I noticed something there. Ooh. So Alan realizes that his dear lover is going to be married off to a knight, like a much richer, a richer man, money. And Alan is absolutely crushed. He is very, very saddened by this. And so he basically just starts sulking near the woods of Nottingham, aka Sherwood Forest. He starts sulking in the woods because, like, you know, she's about to be married off to a man she doesn't know. And also an older man, that too. And when I mean older, I mean like, okay, depending on the version you read, I'm talking like gray hairs type old. So like, they are adults, by the way. Oh yeah, maybe I should have prefaced this. I mean, I don't know if that was need prefacing. I don't know. Alan is 20 at this point in the story. Yes, 20 as in 20. But anyway, anyway. So he's really, really sad, and he starts spending his time in the woods just sulking and playing his songs really sadly. And what is this? A rich man slams table. So 50s to 60s? I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe 40s if I'm being generous. A rich man. So, yeah, so while he is sulking, that is when he eventually comes across the Merry Men. Not a senior citizen. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a senior citizen. So, yeah, so he... Oh man, my brain just died. Yeah, he's sulking, and around the same time he's like sulking and playing his little instruments all sadly, at around the same time, Robin Hood in the woods orders his men to go out and look for mushrooms. Mushrooms to eat, by the way, because, you know, they're like foraging. He's like, hey yo, like, go out into the woods and, like, find me some mushrooms that we can munch on. And so the Merry Men are like, okay, and so they go out into the woods to look for mushrooms, and there is where they come across the very sad minstrel. And one of the Merry Men does recognize him, because, as I mentioned earlier, Allendale's kind of been, like, around, like, town recently. Ooh, what is this? Or could it be from stress? I mean, the Middle Ages weren't exactly kind. Both, I guess. I don't know. Probably both. So the Merry Men find Allendale, and they recognize him as like, hey yo, that's that girly twinky little bard I've been seeing dancing around the, well, not bard, he's a minstrel, but it's that like twinky, quirky, girly little minstrel that's been frolicking around the streets with flowers in his hair. I'm being so serious. Okay, they didn't say like girly, twinky, quirky or anything, but they do say like, hey, I know that guy. That guy has been frolicking around the city with flowers in his hair. And so they go up to Allendale. Now, Allendale's crying by this point, and I forgot to mention this, but Allendale is like the biggest crybaby in like this entire legend, because he's crying when he's like, I don't know, obviously like mourning the loss of his lover. And then when the Merry Men appear, he starts crying because he's scared out of his life. And then the men are like, dude, why are you crying? Stop crying. And then he cries even more. It's great. I love it. And when he eventually, like, tells his sad, tragic anime backstory to Robin Hood, he starts crying again. This is all, like, the same story, by the way. And I might need to bring this back up, so... But, yeah. And this is not going... Come on. Okay. So, yeah, and so the Merry Men are like, well, you're pretty weird, and they decide to bring him to Robin. I forgot the, like, exact reason as to why, though. I guess they just kind of thought, oh, this is like a Robin issue, probably. Let's see. Trooper, calm down. You're not in the middle of a firefight. His sadness is contagious. Sad boy. Very sad boy. Okay. Okay. There's a... Let me see. Okay, so I did kind of add like a... Okay, but maybe not like that long. I don't think he has like that long of hair. Just long-ish. So, yeah, so the Merry Men bring Alan-a-Dale to Robin Hood, takes Alan to the camp. Alan's still scared out of his mind, and Robin's like, oh, hi. You good, bro? And Alan's like, no. And then Robin's like, how old are you? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, in the story, Robin's literally like, okay, how old are you, dude? And Alan-a-Dale's like, 20. And then Robin's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And he's trying his best not to laugh, and he's like, you know, have I ever told you that you look like a girl? And so, but like, after that, Robin's like, okay, my dude, what's up? What, you good, bro? And Alan's like, no. And Robin's like, what's up? And then that's when Alan-a-Dale says, like, okay, so I have this lover from another town, but her dad didn't want us together because I'm a poor man, and so she's going to be married off to this like older rich guy, and I'm sad. And Robin's like, oh, well, that's really messed up. What if I like crash the wedding? And I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of where the Alan-a-Dale backstory kind of ends. It took me way too long to like talk about that. But that is kind of like where his backstory ends. It's like I said, like, his backstory, or like really the backstory of all of the other Robin Hood characters, I don't want them to be this like, they are intentionally simple. I don't want them to be these like big, massive, like tragic anime backstories type things, because I feel like that really diminishes the like, I guess like one of the things that makes Robin Hood so beautiful, which is the fact that these are just normal people. You know, they're going through normal circumstances, normal issues, stuff like that, you know. So I was thinking, you know, Alan-a-Dale's backstory is probably, it would be the same story as probably like a million other kids out there, a million other like musicians, you know, like, you know, I had some like hardships in life, found music, adored it, pursued it, kind of thing. The solution to arranged marriages, robbery and kidnapping. Yes, exactly. That's true. Let's see. It's this little element, it's this little like strand of hair. It's gonna like bug me. Or maybe I do just keep it like that. No, but I don't really like how that looks. Or I guess I do just leave it like that. I don't know. Okay, maybe... Okay, does this thing have stabilization on? Of course it does. No wonder why it was, like, messing with me so much. Yeah, I'm one of those, like, super rare artists that I actually don't like stabilization. Like, I feel like it actually hinders me. Okay. Where was I? They need to be endearing, but not too over the top. Yeah, exactly. Cause I'm not saying that like Robin Hood doesn't have anything like crazy going on. It's violent. Spoiler alert for stories written literally 1,000 years ago, but they're violent. They can get really intense. But like, how do I put this? It's violent, yes, but it's not necessarily. I don't know how else to. I don't know what to say about it. Really, it's just like. I like using King Arthur as a comparison because I feel like it's a good comparison that like, well, the Knights of the Round Table are all typically noblemen. Typically, they're all typically noblemen, and they all have these like deep dramatic backstories. You know, like one of them has like a father who was assassinated, another was raised by the Fae, another like another found out his dad was like lived in like a completely different country. Like all of them have like crazy backstories. Don't even get me started with Arthur's family. Don't even get me started with any of that. But Robin Hood, it's just like, this is a minstrel, this is a farmer, this is a miller. You know what I mean? And it's so much more simple. Minecraft's reason for the moon and stars existing in the overworld is because the piglins millennia ago used the powers of the ancient gods to transmute one of the twin suns into the moon. Alright. Okay. Alright, that's the first part of his hair. I'm gonna do his little hair loopies. So, yeah, no, that's, I feel like I'm, like, repeating myself now, but, that's why, yeah, I wanted to make Alan Adale's backstory, just like with all of the other merry men, fairly simple, you know, he really is, I really did just want to emphasize, you know, they're just average people, he's just an average boy from an average village. Yeah, he has little quirks to him, like, yeah, he's a little bit more femme than other boys. Like, yes, he's a little bit more femme, he's a lot more soft, he has a love for music. Again, in like my lore, how I was thinking, you know, I was thinking he didn't really have like a dad, like it was just him and his mom. I never really came up with a reason for it, like whether or not the dad like walked out or died, but I don't really want to go with death because again, I am trying to avoid like crazy backstory. So like, I don't know, maybe his dad just went out to get the milk and ran off to like some other town. I don't know. But you know, so it's like, you know, a little hint of something, but nothing crazy, like something believable, something that's like, yeah, I've met this kid before, you know? So you know, it's not like he is an NPC, but like, you know, he has his little things, but ultimately, he's just a guy. Okay. Loopies. Actually, let me do these first. Whoops. Did not need to do that. Hi, which drawing app do you often use? Nowadays I mostly use Procreate solely for the reason of its portability. But if you're asking what is my favorite art program to use, Clip Studio Paint all the way, 100%. Like, Clip Studio Paint is like actually like the best. It's like there's no winning. There's no winning. It's too good. Okay. And the final one. He went off to start a carriage company. I do imagine that by the end of the story, Alan Adale does, because like his ultimate dream is to just travel and play music. Like, I don't want the fact that like his not necessarily poverty, but is like the fact that he's like, I guess you could call it like living paycheck to paycheck. It's not fun. I don't want to portray it as fun. Like, I do want to show that, like, yeah, he isn't really fond of, like, sleeping in inns and renting rooms. He ain't really fond of that. Because, like, that isn't fun. It's nice to have your own place. But I was thinking that, like, ultimately, in the grander scheme of things, he's like, you know, it's a sacrifice I am willing to make to explore and play and, yeah, that kind of stuff. So, I am thinking that definitely, like, towards the end of the story, he resumes his... He resumes his travels at the end of the story. Now, as for why he stays with Robin Hood, I think, like, I want, like, a part of it is simply because, well, you know, he, like, believes in Robin's cause, you know? Justice for the poor, and stuff like that. He believes in Robin's cause, but I feel like another reason as to why is because, Robin is, like, I guess just, like, a friend. He's a person he can always come back to. Oh, yeah, and also the fact that he's seen with Robin Hood, and so therefore, it's not according, and so, like, to the city of Nottingham, Alanadale is a criminal because he is seen with the criminal. And so I was kind of thinking that, like, although some part is choice, there's also this other element of, like, ironically, it is safer for me to stay with the criminal than it is to continue traveling until the end of the story where Robin gets pardoned, and that's when he can, like, resume his things. Yeah. Obsidian Aurora says, that's pretty good because that's a pretty good business, especially for the Middle Ages. I'm pretty sure any noble will be willing to pay quite a bit of gold for a very good carriage. Carriage is really important, yeah. Okay. It's, getting pretty late. I never got to his clothes, darn. Maybe I could, like, whip it up super quickly. Okay, let me whip up his clothes really, really quickly. Was he wearing, like, a full-on cloak? Yes, he is. He's wearing a full-on cloak. Usually my boy's wearing a... Usually my boy's wearing a bit of a, like, a cape sort of thing. But in this situation, I'm like, no, dude, it's like winter. You're wearing, an actual... You're wearing an actual cloak here. So, go like that. And yeah, this will stay. And actually, I think it'd make more sense if the... Hold up. Actually, this would like balloon a little bit. It'd go like that. Yeah, that'd actually make even more sense. Okay. And so for this, maybe something like that. I don't know. That's gonna be for like his cloak. Yeah. As for the arms, for the shirt, definitely like this, and I even like his little patterns on his sleeves, which I think are adorable. Okay. And then here as well. Sometimes I think about giving him gloves because, like, He's supposed to be out in the middle of winter. But then I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because you can't play an instrument in the winter. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. I think this part here needs to be a bit more tweaked. Okay. You can play a stringed instrument in winter. It's just that your fingers will hate you for the rest of your life. Yes, that is true. He is destroying his fingers right now. That is something that I have thought about literally since the very first like Passover of this draw, where I'm like, he is destroying his fingers right now. Like his fingers are not even red; they are purple. He is pushing through it like a champ. Pushing through it like a champ. You know, he may be forgive my profanity, he may be a soft little bitch boy, but if there's one thing Alan-a-Dale has, it's calluses. I'm not even saying that to make him, like, seem like, yo, like, nah, like, he's a musician. He has calluses. You need calluses, especially if you're playing stringed instruments. Like, calluses are... like, you need to build those up, or else, like, your fingers are going to die. Even with calluses, it still hurts. I say this as a person who plays solely acoustic guitar. Even with calluses, your fingers hurt. Calluses just makes it hurt less. So. Okay, so I got that for his clothing, and then for his... I'm gonna remove the... I'm gonna remove the loot for a second, just so I can find his middle part. Okay, it's probably it'd probably be like here. It'd probably be there. His fingers be hold up. His fingers be shredding that loot until they bleed. Yes, 100%. Look, he may cry from, barely being insulted, but, like, fingers cracking, nothing I haven't been through before. Okay. And then, of course, because... he's probably not even gonna see this part because it's... all gonna be covered by the loot, but you know what? Okay, you know what? I would like to add a little bit of energy to the skirt part, so definitely gonna want it to like blow out a little bit. And then for maybe the cloak to like end up going here. Maybe like that, I don't know. And honestly, Alan doesn't really have any details in his... none of them really do because I'm lazy. So, not that much. And since he is going upwards, it's not like I can add many, like a fold or something in the tunic either. Maybe I'm just gonna, like, lift this area up a little bit more. Maybe like that. And actually, maybe I can remove this part and... I don't know. I don't think the folds matter all that much. Why am I thinking about the folds? Like, you're not even gonna be able to see it because of the loot. Why am I thinking about that? Okay. I think, just get the loop back. I think we are mostly done for now. The one thing I'm gonna do is, let me just locate the hair. Gonna call this hair, and then the next clothes. And then with these, I'm just gonna make them a little bit smaller, because I have a problem where I always make the heads too big. Okay. Just gonna grab this, grab the head. Wait, no, stop. Actually, let me make sure I'm even. Darn. Okay. No. No, we're fine. Ugh. Is it like that? Yay! Got it. Clip Studio's like the best, guys. Like, it's so good. Okay, I'm just gonna make it a little bit more smaller, because maybe it's a little bit more down. Okay. And I think that's gonna be it, honestly. Yeah, no, I got the sketch done. All right. Like I said, with the fingers around here, I'm gonna do that later, because I do want him to be playing like a legit chord. But that's gonna take like a little bit of finessing, and I don't really feel like doing it in this stream. Also, it's hella late. In my area, it is almost 11 o'clock, and that is way later than I thought this stream was going to be. I genuinely thought this stream was only going to be like an hour, and it is definitely not that. Because I take way too long in my sketches. Especially these types of sketches. Like these types of like, oh, I actually want this piece to look good, which is something that I really struggle with. It's that like I think too, like, when it comes to quick little doodles that I don't think about, I feel like I can make them relatively at a relative speed, but when it comes to something that I want to lock in, then it's like, ugh. And I feel like this is definitely one of those, which really sucks. I kind of wish I could. It's something that I really need to practice. I really need to practice just like getting my mind away from that. But for now, we're done. This is the sketch. Since I want this to be out by Christmas, this piece of art, as you guys could probably guess, we are not finishing this on stream. I'm gonna be finishing this by myself, without talking, fully locked in, working on this piece, trying to, I don't know, finish it as a full illustration, and bada bing bada boom, that's it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This stream has been pretty fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with it as well. I certainly did. Drawing streams are always really fun for me, even though, like, sometimes I'm like, man, like, I need to talk about something. I need to, like, entertain you guys. But it's also, like, I don't know. It's a nice way to, like, I don't know, have me draw stuff that I like, and then talk about the things that I'm drawing that I like, and like, yo, and yeah, I don't know, but this stream's been pretty fun, as I said, and hope you all had a lot of fun with it. I probably said that, yeah, I already said that. Hope you had a lot of fun with it. I certainly did. As for next stream, I've mentioned this before, I would like to make a stream before the year ends. I would like for that, but that will heavily depend on whether or not I have time. Hopefully I will, and I should have enough time for that, but as always, schedule's been pretty hectic. It's always hectic. It's always hectic. But I should. I'm just wondering whether or not I want it to be a Genshin stream or another drawing stream, or maybe both. Maybe, like, one could be a Genshin stream and another could be a drawing stream. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I would like one stream to, like, you know, cap off the year. This basically year of streaming, which has been insane. This has basically been an entire year of me not necessarily streaming weekly per se, but, like, borderline. Actually, basically weekly. Which has been crazy. It's been a year of that, so, yeah, 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 yeah. But I'm kind of running out of things to say. If not, I'll just keep sounding like a broken record. I'm really bad at endings, can you tell? Let's see. Obsidian Aurora says, we'll see you next time, bye. Prevna says, okay, bye, see you, good night. Cora says, good luck with the drawing, can't wait for the short film. I can't either. And Prevna says, I really like this, you're amazing. Thank you so, so, so much. Let's go back to the Infinite Void and say my goodbyes. Say my goodbyes. Bye! Okay, no, but like, for reals, Merry Christmas. If I'm not able to stream Happy New Year, I should be able to. I would really, really like to. But for reals, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. I hope you all have like a wonderful like time of the season. I love this season, honestly, as terrible as the cold is, and my weak Hispanic ass does not like the cold, but like, it's fun. It's really fun. Uzi Squirrel says, this is amazing work. Thank you so much. And, yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than, Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a great time. And hopefully, I'll make another stream. Like I said, maybe one of them's gonna, maybe I can make like a Genshin stream first and then a drawing stream later. Depends whether or not I have time, but it all depends. Uzi Squirrel says, Feliz Navidad a todos, buen año y que les vaya bien.